Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
To blow up my spot.
I'm not trying to blow up your spot. I'm not trying to do that.
Well, it really sounds like you are. So.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting a podcast divorce. Sorry, everyone.
We're going to podcast counseling, so.
It's for the best. Yeah, we're gonna work through it, okay? Don't even worry.
So please donate to our Patreon so that we can go to counseling.
Oh my god. Therapy's so expensive.
Listen, our healthcare is just really messed up, so.
Listen.
That would be buck wild.
We just crowdsourced our fucking bill.
Please donate to our Indiegogo so that we can go to therapy.
Yeah.
That would be buck wild.
A worthy cause, nonetheless.
Welcome to Into the Therapy.
Ooh. Sit back on that nice couch.
And just close your eyes.
Chamomile tea. and we'll unpack some trauma.
Today we're going to talk about good vibes and your family's inability to communicate.
Yeah. Very relevant to this episode, I feel.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
How are you, my dude?
Surprisingly refreshed.
Ooh.
Coming off of about 30 minutes talking about a good thing, which is unusual for us.
Ooh.
So I'm doing pretty dang well. What the heck were we just talking about for 30 minutes, Cody?
We talked about The Good Place.
Holy shit.
And if you want to hear us gush about The Good Place, it's on our Patreon right now. Yeah. So, fucking go get it. It's chill. We have a great time.
Hell yeah.
And it's great.
You just made me want gushers real bad.
Yeah, I kind of want gushers all the time.
Oh my god.
I think.
Chris told me yesterday that gushers are a sweet ravioli, and I want to die a little bit.
I mean, aren't they not? They're...
I don't like that.
I think it's a bit too, condensed of what it is to be ravioli. But it's a similar quality for sure, right?
I don't like that. I don't like that if you went to, a fancy Italian place and you ordered, a dessert ravioli and they came out and they just served you, gushers on a plate.
Yeah, I don't think the Italian way involves gelatin or,
Well, I mean, when you're here, your family, you know?
That's what they all say,
Can you imagine just, the extra goo on that plate? You just have to cut those with a knife and fork?
Oh my gosh. I feel like it would elevate the Gushers experience if you ate it with fork and knife, though. Oh my god, chopsticks! Oh my god, chopsticks!
Oh my god!
Yes. That's my new brand now. That's who I am. That's the trash monster that I'm gonna be for the rest of my life.
Someone might need to call the cops on you. They'd be like, this person is in distress. They are eating gushers with chopsticks.
If nothing else, I'll make a really viral, Justin Bieber eating the burrito wrong style tweet, and then fool everyone and then make millions of dollars.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that would go viral on Twitter. Maybe do it. Do it just for the clout.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think I'm just gonna fucking do it.
Yeah, make a TikTok where you just put, Hella Darkness, my old friend underneath it.
Oh my god. I love that this has just become a session of how to market my own content for the internet. That's good for me.
Yeah.
And me only.
Or just put that photo under one of those, no, Ellen, you didn't tweets. That's, a thing now, right?
Sure.
That'll definitely be relevant in, 3 months when two of you are listening back to this.
Right.
So, hi. Welcome to Into Twilight. We talk about Twilight here. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean most times, really.
Most times, yeah.
Almost always.
Sometimes we also talk about 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
Currently, we talk about you.
Yes.
by Netflix as well.
Yes.
Well, it was by Lifetime.
Right. Well, it has some time.
Yes. If we're getting into semantics.
Listen, this podcast is informally known as Into the Semantics.
That's true. Before we get into all of that bullshit, we have some current events to get into.
Pew, pew, pew!
Yes. Thank you.
Pew, pew!
One of them, first off, and perhaps most important this week, is Hottie Corner.
Yes, we have a very extensive Hottie Corner this week.
And Hottie Corner is brought to you by Sweden's cute-ass prince, who none of y'all told us about.
Yeah, y'all been sleeping on us. There's probably one Swedish listener, right? Maybe.
I know there is, because we have demographics that can tell us about this.
So whoever you are, you've let us down immensely.
Yeah, fuck you, first of all. There's this hottie with a body named Carl Phillip, who is at the perfect age of 39.
Is that the perfect age?
I said what I said. Fuck you, I said what I said.
It's just a weird thing to say. That any age is perfect.
Now, he is fourth in line to the throne, but, there's nothing that a little death couldn't do.
And a little, poison or whatever. You know how royalty are.
Yeah. But the best thing, aside from his Instagram, is that he is a spitting image for Jamie Dornan.
Yeah, they look very similar.
They look fucking separated at birth.
And he looks like the hot Jamie Dornan, because we have a very specific Jamie Dornan binary over here, in which one is hot, which is usually just, normal, living his life, everyday Jamie Dornan, and then there's not hot Jamie Dornan, which is 50 Shades of Grey baby Jamie Dornan.
Yeah, there's twink Jamie Dornan.
There's twink Dornan.
And there's the one you want to slap your ass, Jamie Dornan.
Yes. And he looks like that one.
Yeah.
He's got a nice beard. His hair's a little bit longer, which is a fun little twist.
Yeah.
I do like how you say that he's a hottie with a body, in which none of these photos you can see his body.
Yeah, as far as I know, he is a robot from the pecs down.
Sure. But I like to believe that, he's got it going on.
Yeah. Honestly, would I be sad if he was a robot from the pecs down?
Yeah, sure.
So, all I'm saying is, to his wife, Sophia, good job.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Congrats. And Carl, thank you for showing us a look into your life with your Instagram account where you take photos of you in your car.
Doing the Lord's work.
That is the most 39-year-old thing you could ever do. We also have another hottie part of this corner.
Hottie watch.
Hottie watch. Otherwise known as another part of this corner, which is Pantsuit Corner.
Yes, an integral part of this program.
Yes, very much a part of our brand.
We are pro pantsuits.
Yes.
And we gotta say that now.
Yes. This pantsuit comes with, per stuff.co, it is a 5-piece pantsuit.
Yeah. Can you say who's wearing this pantsuit?
Can you tell me who's wearing this pantsuit?
It's Amanda Seyfried.
Can you tell me who's wearing this pantsuit so I can take a drink of water?
I'll say it again. It's Amanda Seyfried.
Okay.
Take a big old gulp. Renowned and, America's sweetheart, Amanda Seyfried.
Yes. Known for so many things like Les Mis and Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
And so much more.
Yes.
This came to our attention because of the fact that this pantsuit is 50 Shades of Grey.
Quite literally.
Yes. And one of the things I love about this is that Stuff.co was like, how to get this look. And here, 5 pieces of gray from this pantsuit. And the way that they have styled it, it looks like Amanda's wearing all 5 pieces.
I just don't understand what they were doing here, because there's a photo of her in this very good pantsuit, right? And then they have given us essentially 3 coats and 2 pairs of pants, and like in a nice little line that, in a way, that's kind of like a build your own outfit sort of situation. But they don't like label anything for the most part. They have the names and the prices below, but in the actual photo, it just looks like all of these equals this one picture.
Yep.
Like, Amanda Seyfried has 17 layers on and is wearing 2 pairs of pants.
Yep.
In this photo, which I find hard to believe, but it's also winter, so maybe. But also, maybe. I don't think so. How would Insider know, or how would Steph know this?
3 coats, 2 pairs of pants, 1,800 buttons on her. She can never go pee.
She's got pockets for days. You need something to put. You need just to put your little change somewhere. Got like a hoagie. You just want. Amanda Seyfried has got you covered.
She is a walking bakery.
Yeah.
She is a woman of a bodega. She has got everything on her.
Every pocket, a paczki.
Do you need ramen? She's got it.
Yeah.
Do you need tampons? Also has it.
Yeah, I actually bet that there's tampons somewhere in one of these pockets.
Yeah.
You never know.
I agree. The next thing that we have is in our Pat's Corner. Welcome to the space.
I guess another tangential hottie corner.
Also part of our hottie corner. This is, so we've got our third corner here.
Welcome to the hot block.
You walk into a room. You've got a Swedish prince. You've got Amanda Seyfried wearing a pantsuit. You've got our Pats in a t-shirt that has a lot of rips and stains, and he looks
and a nice buzz cut, nice shaved head.
Yeah, he looks like he's having an existential crisis.
Yeah,
and you don't know who's in the last corner. You just know you're having a crisis because there's a lot of hot people in here.
Yeah.
So, tell us about our Pats. What's he doing in his corner?
Well, we're back on the High Life watch.
Yeah.
Which is the Claire Dennis movie that he's in that's coming out soon, ? I have no idea when it's coming out. Oh, April 5th. So soon. Yes, soon. At least in New York and LA. Who knows about Chicago? We'll see. Anyway. So he's in this movie where he's a sad space dad. We know this. But we've learned that he lent his vocals to the soundtrack, not dissimilarly to the Twilight movie.
I'm gonna die.
But so he did a little song with Tinder Sticks, which is apparently the band that made this song that he sang on. So that's cool. I haven't listened to it, but I'm sure it's just sublime. I
love that he is continuing this. I love that. I love that he sings on the movies that he is in. It makes me so happy, especially because he has such a sad voice.
Yeah. He's a sad boy, you know?
Yeah. I appreciate it a lot.
But I do love the subhead here that says, something tells us Pattinson does not have a shallow-sized hit on his hands.
That's
which
so
is a
mean.
bit of a neg. A bit of a neg for Robert Pattinson.
It's a rude thing to do.
Yeah, he's trying his best out here.
First of all, the songs that he had on the Twilight soundtrack were the shallows of his time. So, like,
okay.
Don't be rude.
They weren't even the shallows of that soundtrack. Don't even kid yourself.
Listen. They were very good.
I'm listening.
No one gave those soundtracks the love they deserved at that time. We're just now getting into that renaissance.
Okay.
All right. The last part of this 4-part corner in your room. Who is it? It's a cruise ship. It's a very big room.
It's a huge room. The room is the ocean.
The room is an ocean.
And everyone is on buoys, just like waiting in the water. And then there's a fucking ship. Welcome to this mind palace that we've crafted for you, by the way.
Yes. It's welcome to this Monday morning. You're having to use your imagination a lot.
Yeah.
So the reason why we're talking about cruise ships today is that People magazine posted an article kind of touting that there's a new adults-only cruise that's coming out, and it has a 50 Shades of Grey red room on the cruise ship. Now you might be wondering, what about the ocean makes me so horny? And I would also ask, yes, why? Because nothing about the ocean being in the middle of nowhere makes me horny. But if for some reason it does, they have it for you. If you are going on this adults-only voyage on the Temptation Caribbean Cruise, all right, chill it with the name. It's a 5-night voyage. What they have here is called a Naughty by Nature Red Room, which is, quote, a signature playroom exclusively for couples, which talks about they have like workshops led by there during the daytime, and it is a fantasy space for couples looking to expand, experiment, and enhance their sexual freedom at night. So,
Sure. Yeah.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
So, interesting. One thing I find interesting about this is that it seems like it's an adults-only cruise,
Yeah.
but the room is couples only.
Interesting.
So, something to note. But, listen, if you want to get down and clown on a cruise
Hey.
with the motion of the ocean,
Yeah.
then it's there for you.
Pull a nice, talented Mr. Ripley. Just get off on that boat, you know?
Oh my god.
Just get off.
So that's
We gotta
there
bring
for
up
you.
Gwyneth Paltrow at least once an episode. We're just legally
That's
required
true.
to. We
It's
gotta
true.
do it.
That's true. It's been a while since we looked at Goop. We should do that soon.
Yeah, what I know they got that Netflix series coming out, but is that
Yeah.
our next season?
Oh my god.
Just
It's
watch
definitely
you.
something for Patreon, that's for
Oh,
sure.
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We have a question
Ooh.
from a lovely patron named Cassandra.
Hell yeah.
Cassandra asks, fuck, marry, kill, Blythe, Beck, and Peach.
Oh gosh. This is extremely hard now that I'm actually thinking about it.
For me,
Mm.
I think
Ooh, I think I know.
okay, go.
Okay, I think I'm gonna fuck Blythe.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna marry Peach. And
Okay.
I'm gonna kill Beck. Because, listen, as we learned from last episode, Peach just wants to take care of someone financially, emotionally, and sexually. And that's what marriage is all about. Am I right, ladies?
Right.
And Blythe, I feel like, would be a good, like, one-time fuck, you know? Maybe
Okay.
Beck, though, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm going to fuck Beck,
Yeah.
kill Blythe,
Yeah.
just because I can't stand how
Yeah.
pretentious she is.
Sure.
Um,
Listen, I get it.
And I'm going to marry Peach because, yeah.
She's a wife. She's wifey.
Well, and listen, if she wants someone to take care of, then, like, I'll let that happen.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm not
with me.
opposed. I'm not opposed.
Yeah. I'm not opposed.
And we both hate Joe, so it would work perfectly.
Joseph.
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 What's the
Stop.
Wizard of Oz, Joseph?
Joseph. Stop being such a creep, Joseph.
Joseph, stop stalking my best friend, Joseph.
Joseph, stop coming into bushes, Joseph.
Yeah.
Someone has to clean that area, Joseph.
Some poor person with like a hose just at the bush. Like, motherfucker, this guy again.
That's just cum in that bush.
That
That does the opposite of fertilizer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now I'm just imagining someone with like a hoe just like shooing Joseph out of the bushes.
Hey,
Just
get.
As if that isn't the weirdest thing that dude's seen in New York. Like,
Right, yeah. It's like this is a Tuesday.
Yeah. Fucking gross.
No
all right.
thanks.
So, this week we are on episode 4.
Pew, 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 pew.
And it's titled Maybe.
Maybe.
Overall thoughts from this episode, since we're 4 in.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing developments with the Beck Joe situation.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to say I like her, but I think I'm getting to know Beck a little bit more.
Yes.
So I'm more sympathetic towards her character a little bit.
I agree.
And she kind of like acts on her shit a little bit and is like, oh, I'm actually kind of being the worst. Let me, figure that shit out. Although I do feel that she figures that out in a way that doesn't really make sense. And also all the times that she's critical of herself is because of Joe pointing it out, and the fact that Joe just knows everything about her and has to make her realize that is like a problem. But I think it was interesting. I think there were some weird plot choices and like little switcheroo things that they tried to pull on us that were very strange.
Yes.
Which we'll get into.
I agree. I think this episode was the one that made me have a soft spot for Beck.
Yeah.
But I don't know that was so much the writers doing that, so much as that was just a plot that was relatable to my personal experience.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They talked about, like, a shitty family experience and addiction, right. And I was like, yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, same.
Right, it's like, cool, I'm there.
Yeah.
What's up? Hello.
But I don't know that was so much, like, the writers working for character development so much as they were like, let's just plop these in here and see what happens.
Yeah, and I think they wanted, in this episode, to talk about a lot of different things, and so they were like, oh, how do we get these, like, not trendy, but, like, these relevant topics in here, in the plot, and how does it make sense, right? So you get this weird, like, sugar daddy possibility situation and like the possibility of having to like do things you don't want to for money, right? Mm-hmm. And that's something they wanted to talk about. And then they're also like, oh, these weird like nebulous familial relationships with a family that's like kind of your family but not really, and also it's so distanced because of addiction and substance abuse and like a changing definition of family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the way that they do it is very questionable most of the time. And it just kind of seems like, these are things that people are talking about.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, the way that this starts off is quite different than most of the episodes that we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't start off with Joe talking.
No.
It starts off with Beck talking. And so, to me, I'm very confused now, like, where this is supposed to be going. Like, yeah. Where is this being, like, written, or who are they talking to? Like, where is this supposed to actually be going, I guess?
Because, like, the whole point of Joe monologuing this whole time, right, is, like, we're trying to, like, get an intimate look inside his brain and feel sympathy for him or whatever.
Right.
That changes when you also give Beck that power, too.
Yes.
And I think it's also a reason why we're both kind of a little bit more lenient towards her character in this episode, because, like, we see her inner workings more than we did before as, like, an objective force, right? But now it's kind of just, like, we don't really know what that's going to lead to, or, like, what is this going to be, like, a continuous flip-flopping of narration? Is this, like, a one-off? Like, what's...
Right.
Like, why did we wait so long to actually get a monologue situation from her? I don't understand. Like, what is the point?
Exactly. Especially if that could have been happening this whole time.
Right.
It's very interesting to me. Especially when the last thing that we saw last episode was when they were having sex and Joe, like, immediately came.
Uh-huh.
And so for it to pick up with Beck was a very good choice.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting choice, I guess, is what I'll say. And so, like, they kind of go their own way really quickly. And she almost immediately gets that text from someone who is called the captain in her phone.
Ooh.
And so it sets up this kind of storyline, right, where it's, to me anyways, it seems very much like a sugar daddy kind of situation.
Yeah, I think that was the point, right? Because we're us, the audience, and also Joe, by watching her phone activity and stuff, are supposed to be thinking that she's talking to a potential sugar daddy, and even the way that she's monologuing too is like the fact that he says "love you," and she's like, "Oh, it's just words," and like she's getting this money deposit or whatever, and she's feeling very begrudgingly about it. So we're all supposed to like believe that this could be a sugar daddy, right?
Well, yeah, and she like goes to a lingerie store to like
she gets
buy
like
an
these
outfit.
high-ass boots from Peach, and she lies that she's going to this writer's retreat, and it's very just like wink, 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 you know?
Yeah, and so to do that, and then she's going to like a motel.
Right.
It very much feels sugar daddy-ish, and it sort of is actually, except for that
for sure.
It's just her dad who is
Turns
giving
out
her
she's
money.
just going to a fucking Emily Dickens festival with her dad. That's what that is.
Her family's just fucking nerds, is what it is.
Yeah, she's just a fucking dork. That's what's happening.
Which is something to keep in mind. So yeah, she's in this like fucking, I mean, she looks good. Like she's in this like,
oh my god, before her dad gets there, she's in the motel by herself and she's like starts to masturbate, right? So she's thinking like, you know, like he's always late, so, and I, you know, didn't get any last night, obviously, so like I should just treat myself. And then like he honks the horn and like Joe's already there in the next door of the motel or whatever, like peering out as he does, and she's like, "Hey dad," and it's like, "Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Y'all got punked. My name's Ashton Kutcher. What's up?" How y'all doing? God.
What would punked in 2019 even be?
Oh, horrible.
What would it even look like?
Oh.
It's
the equivalent of someone putting like a famous older celebrity's name on Twitter, like in a tweet that makes it seem like they just died, but they didn't. It's just like a fake tweet that's like a joke or something. That's what that is. That's what the 2019 Hellscape version of punked is.
That's what I wish punked was now, is Ashton Kutcher just goes to someone's house of someone that's making shitty tweets and is like, "Hey, you're being racist. Fucking knock it off."
Yeah, hey.
This is punked now. You're being a punk. Knock it off. One thing, I think it actually flips to Joe before this. Like, before they meet the family, or maybe not. I think it actually does. It flips to Joe because he gets into his car and drives up there before Beck meets her whole family. Am I right? Am I remembering this right?
Yes.
I watched this like 2 hours ago and I'm still misremembering all the details because it's all a blur. But Joe like still has her phone, and I think he even had her phone when he went to sleep with her, which is a fucking power move.
Right.
That was fucking ballsy, dude.
Yeah, because the second she went to the bathroom and was like, "All right, thanks for the sex, I guess. I'm gonna go pee so I don't get a UTI." The second she leaves and is out of eyesight, he whips out her phone and is like, "So what you doing now?" It's like, motherfucker, let her live. You are in the same space. You've won. You've got, like, you had sex.
Yeah, because I remember him saying, like, being upset that he was having his dick compared to emojis. It's like, dude, that's just, like, a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, come on.
Anyways, he drives up to follow her. Because he's like, "Oh yeah, that's just like a day's drive. NBD. And he sees like a deer or something. I think it was. And gets into a car wreck. Which was very good for my health and well-being to see.
Cool.
Thank you, Lifetime. And then gets into the whitest conversation that next morning.
Yeah.
With this police officer. Where he was like, because he's super banged up from getting into, not like an actual car, like he runs into, I think, like a tree or something. Yeah. He doesn't like hit another car. But a police officer sees him like in the middle of middle of nowhere on his own and is like, "Hello, fellow white," like, and tries to talk himself out of having his plates run because they're obviously not his.
Yeah.
They're Mr. Mooney's. And he makes up this bullshit lie, I think. I don't remember what it was, but it was some, like, absolute lie about him being from the area or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a lot, Joe. You're making up a lot of shit for being in a lot of pain right now. When he, like, goes to the Dickens Festival, and I was like, dude, Joe, chill
Hey,
for, like,
buddy.
1 second.
Hey, bud.
He's not even attempting to have any sort of chill. He's a really bad stalker.
Yeah.
He's just doesn't know how to do it right, which is very bad.
And so, like, Beck sees him, right? Because Peach calls Beck to, like, check in, right? And she realizes that Joe has gone over to the same place that she is in because she's trying to find that goddamn book.
Oh, yeah, because she goes to talk to Ethan about it.
Yeah, she goes to the bookstore and is like, where is he, motherfucker?
And Ethan, being the lovely man he is, like, I don't know, but he did go to follow his girlfriend.
Yeah. So she's like, hey, I think this dude is, like, following you because he's going in the same place. Like, are you, like, actually, did you lie to me? Are you actually going on a retreat, or are you just fucking Joe? Like, what's the deal? And so she's like, I don't have time to deal with this right now. I don't know what's happening, and I'm very overstimulated by my family, and also Emily Dickinson. Thank you, goodbye. But then she, like, sees Joe just, like, very nonchalantly hanging out, looking like Joe.
Just openly staring at her.
Just from across the way. Although she does approach someone else who's wearing the same exact hat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's... Sorry, I thought maybe, and then like 2 seconds later, she's like, "Oh, Joe, what's up?"
I can't believe it's
like,
you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, and like he tries to play it off, being like, "Oh, you know, I'm a bookseller. I love Dickens, you know." But then he immediately like flops and is like, "Oh no, you know, God, I'm just a big liar. I actually I knew you were gonna be here, and I didn't like how things were left between us, and you know." Want to make things right or whatever, and it's gross.
It is. He's a dirty boy, and
it's
he's
manipulative
gross.
And gross, and you're putting a lot of pressure on this woman who's going through a lot of stuff right now.
Yes.
And doesn't know that you're doing all of this intentionally, so stop, sir.
Well, and she's dealing with so much because one of the things to keep in mind is that she, from what us as the audience knew, was that her dad was dead.
Yes.
And her dad isn't dead. She just refers to him as being dead, which is, I don't know that it's necessarily common, but this happens a bit with people that have addicts in their family. And so, like, by saying that they're dead, it's referring to the person that they knew as like dying, right? And so, so like he is like literally alive, but he's like with a new family that isn't her mom, and like they have a kid and stuff like this. So she feels like she's like performing with this, like literally dressing up, performing, stuff like this.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that this is a very difficult thing for her to do.
Yeah.
And stressful. And so to have, like, Joe come is just, like, not appropriate.
And while you're wearing a corset the whole time? God damn.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Hard pass, actually.
And, like, they use this as an excuse to be, like, for Joe to be, like, well, it feels like I've known you my whole life, you know? Which, like, bro, stop it.
Yeah.
And the fact is, like, this also brings a rift of, like, her, like, quote-unquote lying about her dad being dead, like, is a problem with him because he's like, oh, like, all these lies, right? Like, what do I even know about you, Beck? You know, who are you, Beck? And Beck thinks that she's, like, you know, really revealed a lot of stuff to him, and they're learning about each other, but we still, like, he is still not given any information about himself.
No.
She's doing so much work to, like, be emotionally transparent and, like, work on her shit and tell him stuff, even if they've known each other a very short amount of time. She's divulged, you know, a lot of stuff, personal stuff. And because she's done that, it, like, outweighs that Joe has done absolutely none of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you still don't know him. You don't know him. You don't know what he likes. You don't know anything about him and his life.
It's complete manipulation. And the fact is that, like, they've known each other for barely any time. She doesn't need to reveal any of the stuff that causes her trauma.
Yeah, she's under no obligation to, like, unload.
Especially because of the fact that her dad's wife and her dad's stepdaughter, I guess it is, are causing her a lot of grief in this interaction. Like, the kid is being a jerk to her, saying a lot of stuff that's making her feel really unwelcome, and being like, your dad doesn't want to give you any more money, really wants you to, like, get a job and stop bothering him.
And he's like, oh, you just think he's an ATM machine. It's like, fuck you.
New York is awful. And also, like, she's in school and, like, trying her best and stuff. And, and, like, the wife, I guess, is, like, this mommy blogger who, like, has taken credit for, like, quote, saving him from his addiction, which, first of all, whoa, and second of all, is, I guess, really makes Beck feel uncomfortable because she didn't know him through Beck's childhood, and so it, I guess, makes her feel really uncomfortable with, like, they know two different people.
Yeah.
And so she just doesn't, they have nothing in common. Like,
yes.
And so that brings up a lot of, like, very difficult dinner conversation, which they have during the last bit of this episode, which is hard. It's hard for them to have and is very relatable.
My favorite part of that was there's a point where Beck, like, has a breaking point and she's like, you know what, fuck this, I'm just gonna leave, like, you're gonna be childish and that's fine, like, I'm just gonna get out of here because I'll just be mad if I stay here.
Yeah.
And so she leaves, but, like, Joe doesn't stand up with her, and then you see in the next scene she's, like, already sitting and, like, appeared just, like, looking off, brooding and stuff, and then Joe, like, a couple seconds later, like, walks up to her where she's sitting. Did he not just, like, leave with her? I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
I love the fact that he thought, you know what, I just met these people this second. I have enough that I could just chill out for a little bit. I'm
gonna enjoy this nice dinner.
We're having a good time, and I could make some conversation, I guess. We have some things in common, maybe. I don't know any of them, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Why didn't you just leave with her?
Listen, dinner's expensive, man. Like, I'm gonna just enjoy this nice seafood here.
I haven't eaten all day. I just drove all the way up here, you know? I just need a meal, okay?
I have a concussion. I don't really know where I am. I'm gonna just stay here where it's safe. Yeah, this episode is a lot. It's wild. And I think one of the things, especially by the end of this, is it doesn't really seem like they come to a lot of a conclusion, especially with Beck and her dad.
Yeah.
And even with, like, Beck and Joe, like, he is still manipulating her into feeling like she needs to feel bad for not sharing this stuff, and it's just not cool.
Yeah. But yeah, also this trauma is used to fuel her art too, right? And it's, which is another thing that Joe's kind of been guilting her for not really doing reasonably, because she does not do her work. But, like, she makes this short story for her class about, you know, her family and about her issues and, like, stuff like that.
Yeah, she finally writes.
She finally writes something, and she gets a text from Blythe that's like, it was amazing. You're amazing.
Yes.
It's really funny.
I loved that, which is nice.
Yes.
And it kind of shows finally that she's having some catharsis. Like, she needed to have this conversation with her dad. She needed to finally tell him, like, Dad, I tell everyone you're dead. Like, this is how I cope with you.
Right.
And I think that was important for her to have that conversation with him.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think before this episode ended, and I don't remember how it happened, but Joe returns the book.
Yes.
Back to Peach.
And there's no explanation of how.
No!
He got into her apartment. But, like, he's, of course, peering from the window outside. And he's having this little monologue about how he made amends with Peach because he doesn't want her, to get in the way of their relationship because, Beck thinks very highly of Peach and Peach does not think very highly of Joe. And, so, like, you see her, like, go to her bookshelf, as I'm sure she does every fucking 45 minutes at this point, just to be like, where's that goddamn book?
Yep.
And it appears out of nowhere. And she's like, interesting.
I don't understand, but alright.
Yeah. Another thing is when they get home and they're like, oh man, we learned so much about each other. They have sex for real this time. That's not 8 seconds long.
Yes.
And then we find out, well, because Beck comes over to Joe's place unexpectedly, right?
Yes.
And he's like, I do want to have sex with you. I also have all of your possessions on my floors and everywhere in this home. And so there's this montage where they're, like, making out and getting on the bed. And meanwhile, Joe is, like, throwing away the book and, like, hiding it somewhere where she can't see. And then they're making out, and then he grabs her fucking panties that he has, and just, like, shoves them in the middle of the couch cushion, and then they're making out again, and then he grabs her old phone and just, like, chucks it under the pillow of the bed, and they have sex, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
He is awful. I don't get it. But alas, he remains on brand, I guess. And that's this episode, folks.
Yeah.
That's where we be.
I do one last thing. I love
Please.
After they have sex and Beck is like, hell yeah, this is good. She, like, sends it to the group chat and it's like,
yes,
Joe did it. Yes. And, like, there's all these gifts and everyone's having a great time. And then Peach, like, clothed to the nines, looking like she's gonna be in the next Mission Impossible and is ready to kill someone, just types in, enjoy it while it lasts, and then like, microphone drops, and it's perfect.
I love it so much.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's so good. Next week, we're on to episode 5, and I haven't double checked how many episodes there are in this season.
I think there's 10. There's 10.
All right, so then we're going to be at the halfway point.
Pew, pew, pew.
Which is wild, but we're getting there.
Pew, 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 pew.
We have so many people to thank.
Oh my gosh.
We've got Aaron Salinger.
Pew, 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 pew.
New to the pod. Thank you, Aaron.
Pew, 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 pew. Thank you, Alex Blythe.
Damn, Alex,
Pew, pew,
thank
pew,
you.
pew.
We've got Marie Mooney.
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh my god.
Thank you to Taylor, Brown, Town, Lautner, Braver Than the Marines.
Thank you so much for your service, Taylor.
God, everyone just salute real quick. Wherever you are, just do a nice little salute. Thank you, Taylor Brown.
Thank you to Katie Weber.
Ow!
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks to Simon motherfucking Steele.
Damn.
Holding up the fort.
Wow.
Simon Steele.
With his bare hands.
With his bare hands, he's holding this up. The whole world he's got. And he's just like glue. He's just holding it together with his perfect little hands. And he's making it work. And he's holding up the fort.
Simon Elmer's Glue Steel.
That's what they call him.
That's what his friends call him, you know?
Yeah. If you're a true Simon Steelhead, you know.
Simon Steelhead.
Some steelheads, let me hear you make some noise.
Oh my god, bye. That's so good. Okay, this week I have a fan fiction for you that I picked out myself.
Ooh.
I know.
We're back in the old days.
I know. This is a ficlet.
Right.
Sometimes they call those chiclets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And
this is
a proper chiclet. It's called Crush. The author is not Stalinsky. God, I haven't said that name in years. And this summary is Peach has a crush but will never admit it.
Ooh.
Yeah. This was written in... Oh, shit. This was so recent. This was written in January 18th of 2019.
Oh, shit. Hot off the presses.
And this is a proper chiclet of Peach Salinger and Guinevere Beck. All right. It is 150 words. Let's do this. You know that she can do better. You know that she deserves better. Someone who will take care of her and let her live her dreams as a writer. Not some asshole who just treats her like shit or uses her to get off. She most definitely deserves someone better than a random guy from Tinder. Knew of her advisor makes your blood boil. You wish she could take your advice and report him. You would insist on her getting the best lawyer in the state. She thinks that she's in love and you want to be happy for her. You really do. But there's something off about the guy and you can't tell what it is. You get upset when you mention his status. You knew she would. But she deserves better. If you can't take care of her, then you want to make sure that someone will. End scene.
Damn.
Wow.
I love it. I love it a lot.
All right, Peach. All right.
And Miss Salinger, if you're nasty.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
Damn.
Put that on a cross stitch.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
God damn it. Mother forker.
Am I right?
Am I right? All right. I mean, as you say in Seattle.
Get bit.
All right, and get whipped.
Woo!
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at Eli Sauerkraus and KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse. You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.